In this video, we took an 8-day long holiday to Noosa. We started off with Andrews Airport parking, then taking a 2-hour flight with Qantas from Melbourne to Maroochydore. The flight was in fact delayed knowing Qantas, but then we arrived at the beautiful tropical wonderland of Noosa. Our room was very small and pretty dirty, but still modern and cozy. So we're at Noosa Heads Resort. It's called French Quarter to be exact. Trying to make sure the GoPro's working. Head down to the beach, check out the water, see if it's cold, go for a drive. First day we arrived and went on the beach. First glance, it was actually pretty cloudy. You have to walk along the road, so we're just going to drive instead. Therefore making it not very inviting. These rocks remind me of the beach right in front of my house. Little did I know we're going to get the best week ahead of sunny weather. Mate. Here I was just checking out some limpets and stuff on the rocks, while also checking the water temperature. Turns out it's normally 20 degrees in winter. That's actually not very cold. That's good. Yeah, just going for a little walk along the main area of the heads. What are these things? They're everywhere. Just careless bush turkeys. Waves are definitely getting bigger here. I know this is only a scratch to what's to come. I would have explored some of these rocks here, but I decided to just keep walking because it was going to get dark eventually. It's called Boiling Pot, look out. The Boiling Pot, quote unquote, is that little rock pool down there. Definitely not the best footage because of how grey it was, but the next few days will be much better. So it's Dolphin Point, look out. Being a Melbourne kid, I was so not used to the tropical forests and amazing vegetation there was to offer. Sometimes clouds and bad lighting turns out bad footage. Granite Bay. Check out those pebbles and stuff down there, oh my goodness. The main thing I wanted to check out was fairy pools because I saw it on Google Earth. Turns out that section was closed, so we had to take a detour. I marked it out in red. Swells and the splashes would get here. The sun started going down, which meant I had to use my phone because the GoPro was much darker. I noticed the further along you went to Noosa Heads, the higher the cliff felt. After I saw that splash, I immediately knew there must get some massive waves here. Little did I know I would actually be seeing that in action. Yesterday was good. I was already happy that I started exploring stuff. Today we're going to go check out some nice waterfalls, which will be good. You can tell I definitely didn't get any sleep. So the place we went to was called Gardeners Falls in Obi Creek, I think that's how you pronounce it, which was located in a town suburb called Maleny, but I like to call it Melanie. So we're just in the town of Maleny. Now we're going on the track of Gardeners Falls. Vegetation and landscape, it's amazing. Wow, so there's the walking trail. So you need to be this fit to do it. I expected there to be a lot more people than what there really was, and it turns out the water was pretty dirty. But at least it was a natural kind of dirty. Not you again. It is supposed to be a very popular swimming spot, so I would imagine in summer there's lots of people that go around here. Here's me demonstrating how slippery it is. There's 2 ropes, one on the other side of the lake and then one around here. Keeps going down there. I think you can keep going on those rocks. I've had issues with my arm for a while now, so I didn't want to risk swinging on that thing straight into the water. But I did still end up going in. It was pretty cold, not as cold as the water I'm used to though. Sun comes out, makes it so much better. Yesterday was a fully cloudy day. I would go put some nice forest sounds in the background, but I guess you can just hear the wind instead. This was Mapleton Falls, near the town of Mapleton. Decided to go for a little walk just to check out the rainforest. You honestly forget just how peaceful the forest can be. It was so relaxing, I didn't even think to film half of it. So peaceful, except the fact there's some kids running through. So we went on a short circuit and there's tons of signs everywhere explaining all the natural phenomena that happen around the forest. It honestly did feel like I was on camp. As much as I love the beach, I also love the forest too, but for this one it was so dense that I didn't even get that much quality footage, i.e. all the trees blocking the sunlight. So that was the circuit we went on. I checked out Sunshine Beach out of curiosity and it became my favourite one, therefore I frequently visited because there was so much to do there. Up on that hill there, I can see people going up. Looks very steep, but I kind of want to go to where this guy is that's fishing. Alright, change of plans. I can't zoom in on the GoPro, but I'm going to follow these kids. So I think they might be locals, and I'm just going to see where they go. Yeah, they're walking on the rocks. I'm going to follow them. I hope they don't turn back and see me following them. Oh my god, I hate doing that. I did climb all the way up. They're going on the fucking hill. I was also wondering what they were doing. Quality's going to look shit now because the sun's going down. By the looks they were giving me, I swear the locals can tell if you're a tourist or not. Anyway, I kept using my phone because it was somehow much brighter and smoother when it was darker, while also giving the guy that was fishing next to me a big fright when my phone rang. Me trying to show myself jumping in the pool but puts the glasses in the way. For the remaining days, beach report. Every morning we decide to go for a swim. So the sign mainly said small dumping swell, and there's sandbars too. You can tell because it's deeper here. Dumping waves is a phenomena that occurs when the swell has to travel from deep water to shallow water really quickly. The wave also has to slow down rapidly, therefore making the water from the bottom travel to the top, which creates the height. These types of waves normally occur at the edge of reefs and steep sandbanks. Oh, look at that fish. There's a fish in there. A little fish. Look at this. Look at this fish. As a real tourist, normally when you go on holidays like these, there's one or a couple of things that really fascinate you that's not normal in your own area. In my case, it was the way the fish swim right next to you and that there was so many of them. I wasn't used to this because where I'm from, the Southern Ocean's cold Antarctic waters don't have the most life when it comes to fish, because normally most sea animals like the lukewarm tropical waters. Those fish this morning were incredible. Oh, I can stand it up. Hang on. Stand it up. I don't need to hold it. Oh my god, that's a bad idea. We're gonna go to the spot I went last night. So I am gonna try and get a bit more footage because it's sunny and there's less waves. It'll be better, and the tide's out as well. So perfect conditions. I know it's not always good to rely on weather apps, but I definitely wasn't prepared for the beauty I was about to see. I know for sure these aren't the most wild videos you've seen, but I do know for a fact I will eventually go to a beach with amazing barrels and take some proper cinematic videos. For now though, I'll focus on other things. Mate, the long short trip here is so powerful, holy crap. The waves at Sunshine Beach are the real open ocean waves. The dumping waves I showed you earlier are a lot smaller because it is around the bend of Noosa Heads. Anyway, in this clip you can see the sandbanks. You can see how the wave crests first, and then if you look closely in the wave, you can see how the water looks much darker. That's because it's deeper. That was my only concern when I was going for a swim in there. Anyway, this is the beauty I was talking about. Any kind of rocks and underwater topography with crystal clear waters is my favourite. Most of the time I was trying to stay stationary, but because I don't know the area very well and the waves very well, I decided to just keep my distance. All the while still getting very beautiful shots. So standing right here is where that bloke was. So when I was here last night, he didn't notice me until I was standing like really close. Then what happened, my phone rang and he shit himself. He looked up at me. It's funny. Fuck. Me losing the casing of the GoPro again. Chilled out at Noosa River Groin for a bit and walked back. Turns out there's actually bull sharks around there. I did decide to go for a little swim in the sunset on my way back. When I was out there, I saw some young kids, not even 8 years old I reckon, that were on a surfboard catching some waves. Me being kind of jealous about them being brought up around the ocean. Also, dolphins putting on a show. Made some small talk with these teenagers who are from around the area. 5 minutes later they got wet. Not sure what I was doing here. We did end up getting a map. On day one we went on the top blue trail. The dotted blue line is Alexandria Bay, which was where I was planning to go. Here's a clearer map of the specific track closure. Much more windy than I anticipated. What's stopping ya? I noticed some action in the distance, so I immediately tried to figure out how to get there. Later in the video, the way I went wasn't through the bay, it was over a hill from Sunshine Beach. Then we had lunch with the extended family at a different suburb called Coolum. Can't see on camera, but from the distance where I was sitting in the restaurant, I noticed some people exploring some rocks. Turns out there wasn't a very easy way to get down there. You had to do what I normally do and make your way around the cliff like the locals. You again. So this is called the Hanson's Lookout. Then we managed to get down to the beach because we found an easier way. We were short on time, so I couldn't explore all the other cliffs that we went to, but this one in particular had pebbles similar to Granite Bay. My favourite thing was the pebbles hitting each other due to the backwash taking them out to sea. So up there's the first lookout, and then Hanson's Lookout is that one there. And the current spot I was in was either called Third Bay or Yarumba Coolum Foreshore Reserve. Went to Yamundi Market and got my first souvenirs. Went to Sunshine Beach in the evening for a second time and the waves were a lot bigger. Up and over this mountain is Alexandria Bay. Wrong. Up and over the mountain was Lions Rock, then Alexandria Bay. I couldn't believe how easy it was to go right next to the edge of the cliff. Of all times I went here, that evening was probably the most surreal one. I'll leave a few unedited clips, but I won't play too much because the footage wasn't the best. Filming during the evening isn't necessarily the best for a GoPro or a phone, but the memory of this is still vibrant for me. The power, thuds and mist of this spot would never cease to amaze me. There was so much going on I did not know what to film. There was tons of action behind me as well, so I panned the camera just to miss it. Wow! You again! Look at that rip current, man. I bet that's a strong one. Out of everything, there was one particular spot where the water was shooting up from some sort of hole. I wish I could film it and find out what it was. I couldn't stop watching. I sat there for about 20 minutes. The problem was though, it only seemed to happen when the tide was in, and the next few times I went here when the tide was out, it never happened. Oh. Holy crap. It goes so high. My goodness. Thud, man. Walking back, got my shoes. The water is so far up, it's getting the bushes over there. Literally yesterday, there was a freak wave. I saw it go all the way to the mountain and the same thing just happened again, and this lady in front of me nearly got knocked over. I should film with my phone because I can zoom in. So this is a different path, and this is where the kids were doing the fire. It's definitely a big difference from when I first went down there. So on that rock, I don't know. Day 5 and day 6 definitely had the biggest waves, meaning towards the end of Lions Rock I got the best action. However, the rest of the other spots were generally the same all days. Despite all that, Mother Nature put on a show. I swear for hours I was just gawking at what I was seeing. There's another spot I was also fascinated by, which was the lower end of the rock, as I was showing you. I did try and go down and film some of it, but I didn't really get the best shots because I wasn't close enough. The following day I did go down where I was to get some more shots, but due to the swell size, the main focus was towards the end. Multiple times I did reposition myself, but I just could not take my eyes off it. Repositioned myself again and got the biggest ones of the day. As you probably saw, there were other people there looking for whales. The thud and vibration this thing produces is unreal and you cannot experience it through the screen. I will leave some clips unedited without zooming in, and especially the slow-mo, because you can't really hear the thud with slow-mo. I'm not going to go explaining all the footage that I've got, but one particular thing I will show you is you can see the little tiny wave just before the big wave hits. You might need to skip back a couple of seconds. Completely stops any kind of hydraulic action because the water becomes too high as the small wave hits, and when the big wave arrives, the rock basically cuts it and it doesn't properly hit it. And you can see now how the wave just swashes over it instead of smashing it because of the water level's height. For this clip I made sure to stay out the wind, so what you're hearing is definitely the thud in the slow-mo. As well as that, you can see the backwash colliding with the parent wave. This is also considered hydraulic action. It is believable that a rogue wave did actually happen like I mentioned earlier. You can see the seaweed line and the wet sand. Seems like those little rocks won't really be stopping much water erosion from that mountain. Wear and tear, wear and tear. So the first beach report and the one I was currently at are much different. This is because every day the tides do shift by an hour, and I did notice every morning when I went for my swim the water was a lot more deeper. Therefore the high tide was coming much closer to the morning, which was the same time I went for my swim. As well as that, you probably noticed on the beach report it said inshore holes plus gutter. Again, this was occurring because the tides were much higher. These can actually be really hard to navigate when the water's much deeper. The shore break was definitely bigger because there's less of a chance for the waves to break. And because of the previous 2 days where the tides were really high, there was actually a secondary gutter that was created, and you can tell because of the lumps in the sand that I'm showing you now. If I show you closely, you can also see the sediment that all the waves are pushing. Had a small lunch at Noosa Marina, then we went to the White House. This is where I got my second souvenir. I was contemplating on getting the big blue whale to the left, but I decided to just get the medium one. But this was the 5th and final time we went to Sunshine Beach, and I'm pretty sure you guys can see the difference between the waves. This tree right here makes the exact same sound a wave makes. The other day I was so worried about the other spots I didn't check to see if I could go down to this one in particular. Turns out you can easily get down there. You can also really see the mist flowing up to the cliff. Out of all areas I've been to, I'd say this is the one where I would go closest to. Again, I obviously didn't because I don't know the beach well enough, but when the swell is very, very low with calm, crystal clear water, I could imagine going towards the very edge would be beautiful. On top of that, every time I got a big one, there was lots of spray and it made a nice rainbow effect. Problem was though, when I did get a bit too close, the spray was really strong, therefore I had to turn my GoPro away. The reason why? Because I lost the waterproof door. Still creeping closer and closer and closer. I was keen for the final rock at the end, but for this day the swell was a little bit smaller, so I didn't really get much big ones. The other areas didn't disappoint though. That was the hardest hit I've ever seen in my life. It hits us so hard at the perfect moment. It doesn't make the biggest splash, but it makes the loudest sound. Oh my god, oh my god. Hang on. I panicked because you can literally see in the reflection of my sunglasses I missed the biggest one of the day. These water-like mountains is actually the focus of the next video. Technically it is the reason why I lost my previous GoPro, but you'll find it anyway. These ones are my absolute favourite because of the way the water slams back on the rock. Sad part is I got plenty the previous day but only one close-up one. Apart from that, that's all the videos that I do have. This was honestly so fun to tinker around with and edit profusely. This was an incredible experience and I sincerely hope you guys did enjoy it. Final set. Goodbye. This place has been amazing, man. Can't believe it. You again. My little baby GoPro. Goodbye, Sunshine Beach. It's been amazing, man.